Hello Oracles! Well, Tesla tanks another 7% today. Was Elon selling again? We don't know. We have not gotten any Form 4 filings yet. He filed all of those yesterday from November 4th through November 8th. So we still have yet to see if there was any selling going on today. He does have 48 hours to file any of those Form 4s if he did end up selling today. Now, I apologize for the format tonight. I got home late from having my son, so I didn't have time to do it with all the visuals. I will be able to do that tomorrow night for you guys to show you all of the charts. But we did have significant volume again today at 127 million shares trading hands. Yesterday was 128 million, and the previous 2 days were over 90 million. Those were all days that Elon had sold. So based upon the 127 million shares trading hands today, I'm going to venture a guess and say that he was selling more today. So again, previously, based upon some of the numbers that we had figured out, it was probably around $5 to $5.5 billion that Elon was going to need to come up with in order to finish covering all of the cost of Twitter. So based upon the Form 4 filings that we had previously gotten, he was around $4 billion. So if the numbers were accurate, that means he would need to come up with about $1 to $1.5 billion more. So we would have today's selling, if indeed this was another day of selling, and then maybe one more day of selling tomorrow. We will see how all of this plays out, but based upon the numbers that we're seeing, I have a feeling we are going to be seeing more Form 4 filings coming out. Now today, with the elections being decided, we did see the market was red today as well. So, this still being an outperformance based upon volume, I think today was definitely a day of Elon selling. And so based upon some of the other numbers we see in the charts, the RSI is around 24. So again, anything under 30 is considered oversold, and there's usually buying pressure coming in. Unfortunately, with Elon selling right now, we still have that question of, does Elon still have more shares to sell? Nobody really is going to come in to buy with any big money until we get that confirmation. It would make no sense. Realistically, I have been adding little bits here and there as we dip, because I don't know, and it's smaller amounts, but I am saving larger chunks of cash for when we do get that point where Elon says, I am done selling. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy out there right now with people saying, well, Elon said he was done selling in August. Look, things change, things come up. We had already discussed all of this previously. If everybody's just going to say, well, he said he was done selling, I'm going to get mad at him. Look, take a step back. You got to be realistic about this. I'm going to give you a little tough love Tim right now. If you are upset about Elon selling and you're really upset because of it financially for yourself, because maybe you're on margin, maybe you're all in on Tesla and you actually use some of that money in the stock market to pay your bills, you got to take responsibility for your own actions. You chose to live that way. That is your choice. Elon is choosing to do what he feels is best for humanity for the future based upon what he is telling us. He is doing these things because he feels he is doing the right thing. If you guys chose on your own free will to go into margin these times, if you chose on your free will to say that you are going to be all in on Tesla and rely solely on your stock position in Tesla to pay for your daily bills, that's your decision. That was a risk that you took, and right now that risk is not paying off. Meanwhile, there's many other people out there, myself included, who have planned for this. I have been talking about this literally all year long since January. Cash flow generation is going to be vital during these times. We don't know what's going on. My plan all year long has been dollar cost averaging every single day into Tesla. I save up chunks of cash for every time we dip. As we dip a little bit, I add a little bit more. I still continue to save larger chunks of cash on the side. I do have a large chunk of cash outside of my portfolio as well, awaiting the housing market to come crashing down as well to be able to buy some real estate. I do have many sources of income that are also coming in to be able to pay for my daily bills. None of that is financial advice, but this is what I have been saying and doing all year long, and I am excited about these times when the stock price is coming down because I am paying attention to the fundamentals long term. I look at the daily charts all the time just to see and understand what is going on so that I could take my emotions out of the stock market. I look long term. I have that long term vision and that conviction for the stock and the company doing extremely well. So for me, because I have set myself up with all of this cash to be able to invest during these times, I am excited about this. I know not everyone is in that situation. I understand everybody has a different situation going on. I understand some people may not be working, can't work. A lot of different things are going on, and this could be tough for some people. I also understand that some people wanted to retire during these times, and they thought Tesla was going to be a great way to do that. It's difficult. I do understand that. Timing is very hard right now. But you also have to remember the entire market is really suffering at these times. Again, most of the market is down over 30%. We've got the NASDAQ at this point is down 30-something percent. The S&P is down 25%. So it's not like this is a Tesla-specific situation. This is everything. So that's my tough love for you guys, and I know it's not easy to hear, but we look back and Chicken Genius was saying we're going to come down to 140. Everybody was like, that guy's crazy. Everybody was losing their mind. I was getting crap for saying that we were going to come down and fill a gap at 247. I got a lot of backlash for that. We flew right past that, and now look at us closing at 177. We filled that gap at 187, which I didn't even mention until we got further down below 247. And now we've got a number down at 137 with another gap. Could we hit that? Don't know. Seeing as the way we're going, I always say prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I understand that sometimes it can be difficult to take your emotions out. It really is. This again is why I have learned how to follow the charts, and I try to educate you guys on the same thing so that we can understand why the stock is moving the way it is moving. And again, we need to go back to the fundamentals and remember that this happens on a regular basis. About every 10 years, we go through very difficult times like this. It's the entire market. Many stocks, especially higher growth stocks that have a lot of potential like a Tesla, are probably going to get hit a lot harder than other stocks. This, is just historically how it works. High growth stocks in the NASDAQ, tech stocks, take a bigger beating than those Dow stocks. You get some of those value plays, they don't move much. Not a lot of stress there. That's why Warren Buffett is living as long as he has, because he goes into those less stressful stocks that aren't these high growth ones. I have no doubt that's one of his secrets to his longevity, is because he doesn't get into high stressful stocks like a Tesla. But looking at these things, we also have a lot of potential coming out of this. We don't know when it's going to turn around. I have a feeling it's going to be sometime in mid to late 2023 that we really start to see the entire market turn around again. Probably won't see that parabolic move until 2024 or 2025. That to me is going to give us a lot of time to be adding to our portfolio. Again, these are the times where you want to accumulate shares. Right now, we are not going to be seeing the dollar amount in our portfolio grow, at least not much at all. But if we can see the share count grow in our portfolio, that is going to in turn make the dollar amount in our portfolio grow that much faster when we do make that turnaround. This always happens. This has happened historically over and over and over again. It's going to happen again in the future, most likely in about 8 to 10 years, maybe a little bit longer depending on how long this one lasts. We are going to see the same thing happen again. So when we get to that point, you can all be prepared for it. And so looking at the fundamentals of the company, we've got China that was out there producing 87,000 vehicles in October, which is a record for them. This is going to be the norm going forward for Tesla. We are going to be seeing record numbers consistently coming out for the company going forward. Don't forget that we are going to be having Austin and Berlin still ramping up. They have just started to hit their stride early on. So that tells me that we are going to be seeing massive production numbers coming out. We are getting big orders coming in from Taiwan of 10,000 vehicles, and a good chunk of those are actually getting delivered from Germany right now. So if Berlin is able to deliver a lot of vehicles over to Taiwan, and Taiwan actually has that many vehicles getting ordered, that is very significant. We are seeing a massive number of countries just starting to come up that are now ordering Teslas. Don't forget, when we see a lot of these other legacy automotive companies are actually pulling out of certain countries because they just don't have the sales and it's not worth it for them to be there, Tesla's actually moving into those countries and growing. They're going in the opposite direction of legacy auto. They are growing into new countries. There's a lot of territory Tesla is not even in yet. They need this production. So if people are talking about demand problems coming in, sure, maybe there's some questions about China, what's going on over there, they've got to bring the prices down. That's fine because they still have so many new countries that they need to get vehicles to. We've got Australia and New Zealand that are significantly backed up with a backlog of over 6 months each. So both of those countries need a significant number of vehicles that are going to be coming out of Shanghai. These are great fundamentals to pay attention to. We have seen the roadmap. We've talked about it on here so many times with so much stuff coming for Tesla in the future that all of this other stuff going on with Twitter and all of the noise with the politics and what Elon's doing, it's just noise. These things right now will pass. I know it seems like they won't. I know it is so hard to look past this. I know that we see this bleeding on a daily basis with all of the stock prices coming down. We see Elon selling. We have questions. We don't have answers. This is the unknown. Everyone is afraid of the unknown. Embrace it. Embrace the unknown. You have to remember the absolute basics of the stock market are buy low and sell high. We are at the moments where we are low. Why are we so upset? You shouldn't be looking to sell at these times. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just basic stock market 101. You want to buy when it is low. We are low. Can we go lower? Absolutely. But that is why dollar cost averaging historically has been what is going to garner the most wealth in the future for you. This is the time to dollar cost average. Even Chicken Genius said around $200, now is an okay time to start dollar cost averaging. He said it himself, so who knows how much further down we can go. But what separates the people who do well and come out more wealthy on the other side versus the people who get frustrated with the stock market and stop investing is just the mindset. The mindset of right now, the people who are going to do very well in the future are adding to their stock portfolios. It doesn't need to be Tesla. I am doing it for Tesla because I have the conviction in the future. It could be for whatever you want. If you want to do it in an index fund just because that's a safer place to be, have at it. Do whatever you feel is best for you. But the basics of the stock market are buy low and sell high. I don't even plan on selling Tesla anytime soon, but right now it's low. I'm buying. I'm buying right now, and I'm saving up cash because if we come down further, I'm going to buy heavier. That's how I am playing it, because this is the time we can add to be able to build our wealth and portfolio in the future. And I know there's another question out there about Twitter, and if Elon is going to have to sell any more shares to keep Twitter afloat. Well, he had a great Twitter space today discussing all the advertising that is out there and what their plans are for the future. So we had a great discussion with all of them to work on it, and he was pretty open and honest, and he said, I understand why people may have taken some of their advertising money out just to give it a pause and see what's going on. He's like, I encourage you to come on and just use the platform. That's really it. Use the platform. If you think that the platform has gotten better, then just see it. See it and believe it. If you feel like it's a place that you want to put your money, then put your money back into it. This is how he has run all of his companies. Think about Tesla itself. Anybody who is out there who is investing in Tesla right now most likely did so because they drove a Tesla and they're like, oh, this product is awesome. I want to invest in this company. This is exactly what he's working on with Twitter. He is working on a situation and a product of, hey, here is an awesome product. Let the product speak for itself. If you want to put your money into it, that's awesome. This is what we are looking for. If you don't want to and you don't like the product, let us know what we can do to make it better so that you would want to put your money into it. That's what he's doing with Twitter, and because he is doing that, inevitably it's going to have enough revenue coming back into it, and he's not going to need to sell any more shares just to keep Twitter afloat. The amount of people out there who already paid for those blue check marks at $8 is pretty significant. I'm over there, I did it myself, and you guys can let me know in the comments if you did it as well, but there's a lot of people going in. Think about the fact that Elon has 115 million followers right now. Let's say half of them are bots. Let's say he's got 50 million followers that are real followers. Let's say, even 10 million of those right now are going to be going in there and deciding to get that blue check mark. So 10 million times $8 is $80 million already coming in from revenues. That is just 10% of what Elon has as a follower count. So that's a very small number. I have no doubt it's significantly more than that. Their MDAUs, that is their daily average user number, has been going up significantly since he took over. So more and more people are coming to the platform itself, and that means that more and more people are going to end up paying that $8, thereby bringing in more revenue. So I have confidence in the future that Elon's not going to have to sell for keeping Twitter afloat. He is one of the absolute best at capital allocation. We have seen that with all of his other companies, and I have no doubt he's going to be doing the same thing with Twitter. Again, we have no guarantees about this in the future, but just seeing the numbers coming in leads me to believe that once Elon is done selling right now, it is strictly for being able to cover the cost of purchasing Twitter, which he admittedly said is more than he should be paying, but he does see it generating significantly more revenue than the value he paid for it right now. But once he is done, that should be it. I know some people are saying, well, he's going to sell all of his shares. You gotta remember, the guy still has 450 million shares of Tesla stock. It's not like him selling off 20 million shares was half of his position. It was barely a fraction of what he owns for Tesla stock shares. He has so many shares right now that him selling off 20 million over the last few days was barely a blip on the radar, a drop in the bucket for him. So you just have to remember that he still has more shares than anyone else out there. So there it is. There's my tough love for the week for you guys. Just a reminder, I care about all of you guys. I truly do. I can't give you financial advice. I could just tell you what I am doing for myself and what is helping me get through all of these times. Those of you who have been with me for the last year, especially when Elon was selling back in December, know that this is what we talk about to help bring your emotions down, calm you guys down. I just want to remind you, I care. I do. I truly want to see the best for all of you guys that are out there, but you've got to take your emotions out of this right now and truly look at why you are an investor. These are the times that are going to challenge us. We've got to get through these tough times. Look down the road, truly dig deep and ask yourself, what is your long-term horizon for this stock? What do you think the company is going to be doing over the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think the company is truly going to continue growing the way we thought it was going to be growing back a year ago when the stock price was booming? We were all so excited when Hertz came on board. They were blowing numbers out of the water. Well, right now, the stock price is lower than it was back in 2020 when the COVID crash happened. We are doing significantly better fundamentally now than we were back then. Why is it that back then we thought it was an awesome buy, but now we're afraid? You got to ask yourself that. It is strictly because of your emotions playing with you. That's really it. And you can go ahead and point fingers, but that is your emotion coming out saying you've got to find justification as to why you feel the way you feel. That's all it really is. That's the psychology of it. That's just the facts. That's the truth, the hard truth, but some people just need to hear that. Yeah, maybe you disagree with what Elon is doing, and there's no problem with that. I agree with what he's doing, but I do understand your side of things. It's frustrating. It really is. And if you don't agree, that's your own prerogative. We discuss this in the comments all the time, and I love those discussions that we have because, Elon's not perfect. Elon's human. He makes mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I make a lot of mistakes as well. But I know that one of the mistakes I made in the past was getting afraid when the stock prices were down, and I sold because I didn't want to lose any more money than I did. And then I ended up seeing the stock price coming back up, and I bought back in at a higher price. That is a mistake I made in the past. I learned to be an actual long-term investor, and my long-term horizon back then was 3 weeks, a month, maybe a year at the most. That was my long-term mindset back then. I have learned from those mistakes, and now I see Tesla as a 5 to 10 year time frame. That is my long-term thesis right now. That is what I have learned from. And I learned that during those times, I wanted to have more money on the sidelines to buy during those times, because for me, that was what really deterred me. Was I had all of my money in the stock market. I didn't have any money to be able to add during those times. And so instead of adding, I sold one thing to be able to buy another, and then went back and forth. I stole from Peter to pay Paul, and it didn't work out well for me, and I ended up losing more money than gaining. I learned from those mistakes. This is why I am doing it this way this time around. Maybe I am wrong again this time, but I haven't tried it yet. I know I've tried the other way. I know the other way didn't work for me. I know the other way was a mistake. So I know that this way that I'm trying right now has historically been successful for more people than it hasn't been. So I'm doing it this way. That's just what I'm doing. But please, I encourage you guys to just take a quick step back, take your emotions out of everything, and remind yourself of what the fundamentals of the company are and what your thesis was back when you were excited and you didn't have all of these negative emotions going through you. Just please do that, and we can definitely discuss all of this in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a membership program and a Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.